Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So my name's Katie and today I'm going to be talking about some of my favourite middle grade books. So I really love middle grade. I don't know, it's just very kind of like heartwarming and nostalgic to read. I always just feel so like cozy whenever I'm reading middle grade. And yeah, some of my favourite channels to get middle grade reading recommendations from are Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin and Jade from Jade Ray Reads. I love both their channels. They're kind of my go-to places for middle grade recommendations. But I'm just going to share some of my favourite ones that I've read today. This one, I feel like this is quite a popular series, and that is Nevermore and its sequel, Wondersmith by Jessica Townsend. So I love these ones. They're so kind of whimsical. Yeah, Morrigan's such a kind of spunky, like sassy middle grade protagonist. She's quite like, you get kind of a lot of protagonists like that, but she's so kind of endearing and lovable. And then she also has this kind of mentor figure, Jupiter North, who I just love him. He's so great. He's so like quirky and weird, but so fascinating. And also I really like the like villain in this series. He's so kind of like charming and like, yeah, evil, but he's really like, yeah, like kind of suave. I don't know. I just like villains. But yeah, it's so fascinating. And the magic's cool as well. People have these like knacks, which is something they're really good at. So yeah, so she kind of gets taken away to this like magical world called Nevermore, and yeah, she in the first book she has to kind of undergo these trials to enter the like society there. And yeah, it's just so cool. Like the whole world of Nevermore is just so kind of yeah, whimsical. I love kind of her friendships that she makes there. They're so cute, especially in Wondersmith as well. It's more of a school setting and she sort of makes a few more friendships, which I really love. And yeah, also there's like a hotel setting as well, which I love hotel settings in books. They're just so great. So yeah, so I love the series and I'm so excited for Hollypocks, which is going to come out eventually. It keeps getting pushed back, but yeah, maybe one day. Also, if anyone knows where I can get a hardcover of Nevermore, the like UK version, I'd really like to know, because I don't know, I just really want to collect this series in like hardcover, so yeah, but it's proving elusive. So yeah. Okay, then next, I feel like I talked about this a lot like when I first started my channel, but I haven't hyped it up in a while, and that is Frostheart by Jamie Littler. So this is just the cutest little, like Ash, the main character, he's so adorable. I just love him so much. Also this has such pretty edges. But yeah, I love the series. It's so kind of heartwarming and yeah, just really makes you like feel things, and it also has great illustrations throughout as well. Yeah, like all throughout the book, which I think just kind of add like so much to the story. And Ash is just so cute. He's so like adorable. I love him. And his like little friend Luna, she's great as well. She's like the kind of sassy spunky one, and yeah, and their just adventures is so great. And Ash is trying to like find his parents, and he gets on this ship called the Frostheart, and like with the crew there, and it's just this like little found family, and it's so sweet. And it's all set in like a kind of polar fantasy setting, which I love those kind of settings, like the wintry vibes. So yeah, I just really enjoyed this one. And if you just want something that'll like warm the cockles of your heart, then yeah, this one's great. Okay, then next is Orion Lost by Alistair Home. So this one I really love. I've hardly ever read any like middle grade sci-fi, but I just really enjoyed this one. It's kind of following these characters who they're on a spaceship to like a different planet, and then everyone gets like put to sleep, and then only a couple of the children get woken up, so they're like in charge and they have to like work out what they're doing and stuff. But I just think this one's such a great book because it does like kind of friendship so well, and also the kind of like a young girl in a position of like leadership and her like dealing with that. And I think that would be so great for like young children to see, just the kind of, yeah, like the role of being a leader. I think that's so important lesson to teach young girls especially. And also the kind of like STEM in this book, like if you can get kids enthusiastic about STEM, that's just so interesting and fascinating. And yeah, I'm always excited to get little kids into science, so yeah, I think that's a really great aspect to this book as well. So I love this one. It kind of has a mystery as well, and like a sort of, is it evil AI? So yeah, I love this one. And then next is one of the Rick Riordan Presents series, and that is Ari Shah series by Roshani Chokshi. And I love these. Ari is such an interesting character. She's like so kind of funny, and she like she makes up all these kind of like white lies all the time to like make her life seem more interesting, which I think is just so funny. And I love learning about the kind of Hindu Indian mythology in these. I thought that was so fascinating because I didn't really know a lot about that before. And just the like adventures of Aru and her friends Minnie, she's so cute. And also in the second book you have such a great like friendship group and like really squad goals. And you also have this like talking pigeon. Well, he's not actually a pigeon, he's like a god in pigeon form, but he's just so great. He's like kind of like Zazu from The Lion King. And he just adds like so much humour to the book. And yeah, these books are just so funny. Like if you like Rick Riordan books, then you'll love these. They have the same kind of tone, and yeah, they're just really fun. So yeah, I love them. On the subject of Rick Riordan books, I'm gonna put his Trials of Apollo series on this list because I love this series so much. Like I know this isn't everyone's favourite, but I just really love it. Especially I just love Apollo. He's such a like dramatic character. It's so funny. And yeah, and just the way he's completely incompetent at everything. I know some people don't like characters who are like not good at stuff, but it's just done so well in this series and I just love him. He has this like the characters around him are all trying to like do things for him. And Meg, who's his little like 12-year-old companion who's like in charge of him basically, she's so great as well. I love her so much. And I know some people don't like her, but I just really like her. And yeah, and their friendship is just so wholesome. And I just laugh so much in these books. And I love, especially the first one, it's like this kind of mystery involving this like grove of trees and like the woods and stuff. And yeah, I just really love that. So this is such a great series. And Apollo's just, he's the best narrator. He's so funny and like so dramatic. And yeah, I love him. So that's that series. Okay, then next we have A Pinch of Magic and the sequel, A Sprinkle of Sorcery. So these are such a great series. They're so like atmospheric. It's really cool. It sort of reminds me of like, you probably outside the UK you won't know what this is, but like Whitby sort of vibes. I just remember going there when I was little and yeah, it was just great. And yeah, it's kind of spooky almost. But yeah, like the kind of island and like mysterious like mists and stuff. And the first one, they're trying to kind of break this like curse which is on the island, like no, on their family on this island. And they basically, the family can't leave the island because of this mysterious thing that happened many years ago. And yeah, and the three sisters, so following these three sisters, Felicity, Betty and Charlie, and they just have the best dynamic. Like it makes me want sisters. They just all like care for each other so much, and Charlie's so cute. She's like the little sister. Yeah, Betty is like the main character. I just really love it. It just has such like, it has the kind of magic of middle grade. And yeah, and then this one, A Sprinkle of Sorcery, is the sequel, and this one's just like as magical, and it has pirates as well and like a kind of sea mystery which is so cool. So yeah, I just love them, and the way they kind of weave together the like current storyline and also this like past storyline, which is kind of the mystery, I think is done so well. And yeah, I just love both books in this series. They're just so great, and I think we're getting a third book as well, which is really cool. The next is The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. So this is such like a beautifully written book. Like the atmosphere and just everything about it is so beautiful. It's like a Studio Ghibli film, basically. Yeah, it's just so beautiful. So we follow Luna, who's this character, and she gets like left out of her village, and then this woman comes and takes her away. So often babies get left out of this village, and so the woman takes her away, and instead of feeding her starlight, she accidentally feeds Luna moonlight. So then this gives Luna like interesting powers. And then she's just raised in this like swamp by these other characters, and then there's this little baby dragon called Virion. And it's just such like a kind of coming of age novel, and it's also set in like this volcano setting, which I just think is so cool. I love like volcano stuff. Like it reminds me of that episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender where there's this village that's like convinced the volcano isn't gonna blow because the fortune teller told them so. But yeah, it's such a beautifully written book, and yeah, there's just atmosphere and the setting and the characters, they're just all so great. And yeah, it's just, if you want to really be like transported into this like magical world and just kind of be swept away, then this is just such a great book. And yeah, the like visuals are so stunning as well, so yeah, I would highly recommend this one. Okay, and then next is The Girl Who Speaks Bear by Sophie Anderson. So this one is another kind of like wintry polar fantasy. And I think if you like either Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik or the Winter Night trilogy by Catherine Arden, this one kind of has a similar sort of feeling to it. sort of like Russian-y Slavic folklore. And yeah, it's just so great. And there's like illustrations in this one too. And yeah, and also there's like stories throughout, so they have kind of the page like border. And then I'll try and find like a illustration. Yeah, so you have like illustrations. Yanka sort of sometimes turns into a bear, and so she's sort of trying to find out about like her past and how she came to be the way she is, and just like exploring in the forest, and she like goes on this little journey and gets some like animal companions, and it's just so great. And yeah, I just love kind of wintry middle grade fantasy. So yeah, it's really great, and it just has like I don't know, like great messages about kind of fitting in and like family and stuff. So yeah, I just really love this series. And then finally, one of my favourite series, and that is the Kief of the Lost Cities series by Shannon Messenger. So I have all these on audio because I really like the audiobooks for these ones. And yeah, it's just so great. Following Sophie, who one day she finds out she's an elf, and she like gets taken away from the human world into this like elven world, where she kind of attends the like magical academy called Foxfire. And then she gets like involved in these secret plots that are going on within the world. Like there's all these secret societies that are sort of trying to use Sophie because she has these quite unique powers. So yeah, so there's just so much going on. Like the characters are all so great. Sophie is such a great character, and the way she kind of grows into like such a great leader, and the way she sort of challenges like these standards of the elven world. Like they do things sometimes, but then sometimes she's like, oh no, well, could we be doing it better this way? And she's like not afraid to stand up to authority. And then yeah, the characters are just so great. Like Kief, I love him. He's so precious. And yeah, he's a bit of a disaster really. But yeah, he's like the kind of sassy one. But he's also, yeah, he has kind of a sad backstory and stuff. But yeah, he's such a great friend. Yeah, I think this series does friendship so well. And also it handles some serious topics like grief and stuff. And I think it does them really well, especially for like in a middle grade book. So yeah, it's just such a great series. And it just kind of makes me feel so happy, like whenever I read it. And yeah, I'm just really excited for the last one. And yeah, it's just great. It's like quite an epic almost series. There's like so many books in the series. There's like 8 at this point, I think. So if you're wanting like a kind of a big fantasy series to like get into, but also it's a bit lighter, like it's middle grade, so it's not like, it's not super doom and gloom or anything. It's just really fun, and the characters are also like endearing. I think it's a great series for that. So yeah, so that is everything. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you read middle grade a lot or anything, or if you're interested in it, then please let me know in a comment, or let me know what your favourite middle grade book is, because I'm always looking for more recommendations. So if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and consider subscribing if you haven't already. And I hope you're all having a great day, and I will see you next time.